Welcome to the Stoic couple, where love meets unshakable wisdom. Let me ask you something real. Are you sitting there staring at your phone, finger trembling above her name, mind racing through endless what-ifs? Maybe you're aching to send one last message. Maybe you're clinging to the hope she'll finally answer. Or maybe you're just trying to quiet the storm inside you. But before you hit send, stop. Breathe. Listen. Because this moment you're standing in, it's about far more than a text. It's about who you are when the replies don't come. It's about the man you become when the silence feels unbearable. Right here, right now, you're at a pivotal choice. You can chase, you can act on fear, or you can rise above it all. You can choose resilience over reaction, patience over panic, strength over the desperate pull to be noticed. Because in the end, this isn't really about her, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about honoring your worth without anyone else's approval. It's about becoming the man who knows his value isn't up for negotiation. So, before you type that message, let's pause together, not as strangers, but as brothers walking the same rugged road. Let's step into truth, side by side. Sign number 1, the real reason you can't stop texting her. That ache in your chest, the tight feeling in your throat, the way your mind loops the same thoughts on repeat. You want to reach out, say something, anything. It feels like if you don't, you'll explode. But here's what's really happening beneath all that noise. Your mind is searching for closure. It's trying to calm the storm by grabbing onto the one thing it knows her. You're not weak for feeling this. You're human. That urge to text, it's your brain begging for relief. It wants certainty, it wants safety, and it thinks maybe, just maybe, her response will give you that. But let's be honest, deep down, you already know it won't. Because chasing comfort in someone else, it never leads to real peace. It only feeds the cycle. The more you reach out, the more you depend on her reply to feel okay. And that's how you lose yourself. Every message you send from that place of fear, of need, it's like handing her the keys to your emotional well-being. And I know it doesn't feel like that in the moment. It feels like you're just trying to fix something, trying to make it better. But here's the Stoic truth. Real strength doesn't come from fixing. It comes from facing that ache, facing the silence, facing your own thoughts without needing someone else to soothe them. Epictetus said it with piercing clarity. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Her response, her attention, her affection, none of that is yours to control. But your reaction, your breath, your choices, that's yours. Completely, unshakably yours. So next time you feel that wave of panic rising when your fingers hover over the keyboard, pause. Not because you're trying to play a game, but because you finally realize the only person you need to respond to is you. Sign number 2, what your silence really says to her. So now you've paused. You didn't send the text. You resisted the urge. Good. That moment of stillness, that wasn't weakness. That was power. Because here's something you may not realize right away. Your silence isn't empty. It speaks loudly. And what it says is deeper than any words you could have said. When you stop chasing, she notices. When your name doesn't pop up on her screen, when her phone stays quiet, her mind starts to wander. Why isn't he reaching out? Did something change? Is he over me? See, human nature is wired to notice what's missing. We crave what pulls away. And the silence you're holding, it creates a void. And that void becomes a mirror, one that reflects her own thoughts, her own curiosity, maybe even her own regrets. But listen carefully here. Silence isn't about playing games. It's not about making her chase you back. It's about mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." What does that mean in this moment? It means you're not reacting with chaos. You're not lashing out, begging, or trying to prove your worth. You're staying composed, centered, unmoved. You're showing that your self-respect, your peace of mind, your sense of value do not live and die by her response. And that right there, that's rare. That kind of emotional composition, that quiet confidence, it's magnetic. Because most people fold under pressure. Most people give in to the pull of their emotions, but not you. Not now. Your silence is discipline. It's dignity. It's strength wrapped in stillness. And whether she admits it or not, she feels it. So let your silence speak. Not in bitterness, not in pride, but in calm, unshakable self-respect. You don't need to make noise to be heard. Sometimes the most powerful message is saying nothing at all. Sign number 3, how to master your emotions and love. So you've chosen silence. You've chosen restraint. Now, let's talk about what that really means for you. Because every time you resist the urge to text her, every time you feel that emotional wave rise and still choose stillness, you're not just holding back. You're taking back your power. You're saying, not with words but with action, I control how I feel. My peace is mine, not hers to give or take away. And that, my friend, is no small thing. That is the moment when the boy who needs starts becoming the man who knows. Knows that emotions are not commands, they're signals. Knows that silence isn't a void, it's a choice. Knows that what hurts today won't define who you are tomorrow. Seneca, in all his wisdom, said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about that. So much of what you're feeling right now, the fear, the anxiety, the restless wondering, isn't caused by what she did. It's caused by what you're imagining. You're playing out worst-case scenarios in your mind. You're trying to read between lines that were never written. You're creating storms in your head when reality is often a lot quieter. So next time your fingers start drifting toward that message bar, next time you hear your mind whispering, just text her, just check in, just one message. Break, breathe, and remember, that moment of restraint, it's not you backing down. It's you rising up. You're retraining your nervous system. You're rewiring your patterns. You're reclaiming emotional control that maybe you've never had before. And that is how real transformation begins. You're no longer driven by panic. You're guided by principle. You're no longer begging for peace. You're building it, brick by brick, with every calm decision you make. So be proud of that, because in a world full of men who react, you're becoming the man who responds with wisdom. Sign number 5. Why chasing her only pushes her away. So now you understand the power of discipline over desperation. But let's take it deeper. Let's talk about why chasing doesn't bring her closer. It drives her away. It's a paradox, right? You care. You want to fix things. You think, if I just show her how much she means to me, maybe she'll come back. So you text, you double text, you explain, you apologize for things she never even brought up. You keep showing up, hoping she'll see your heart. But the more you chase, the more she pulls away. It's like trying to hold water in a tightened fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through. Because chasing carries a message, even if you don't say it out loud. My happiness depends on you. And that kind of energy, it doesn't feel like love. It feels like pressure. It's heavy. It's unnecessary. And whether she realizes it consciously or not, she wants to step back from it because attraction needs space. It needs mystery. It needs breathing room to grow. And chasing suffocates that space. Here's what the Stoics knew and what we're remembering now. You can't force closeness. You can only invite it. And when you stop chasing, when you finally let go, something powerful begins to shift. She notices the silence. She notices your energy has changed. And for the first time, maybe in a while, she starts wondering why. Why isn't he reaching out anymore? Is he over it? Did he move on? You've gone from being predictable to being a mystery. From anxious to anchored. And here's the thing. You didn't do it to manipulate her. You did it to respect yourself. You stopped chasing not because you stopped caring, but because you finally realized you are not meant to beg for connection. You are meant to stand in your worth and let those who recognize it come forward willingly. So, let's go. Let her feel the absence. Let her sit with the silence. Let her notice that shift in energy. Because when you stop chasing, you create space, not just for her to think, but for you to rise. Sign number 6, becoming the man she can't shake. You've stopped chasing. You've chosen stillness over desperation. Now let's talk about what it means to truly embody that shift. Because here's what most men don't realize. Women aren't drawn to chaos. They're not pulled in by panic or pleading. They're drawn to men who are steady. Men who are grounded. Men who feel deeply but move calmly. Not because they're cold. Not because they've shut off their hearts. But because they've mastered what they feel. You want to be that kind of man? Then imagine this. You are a mountain. The storm rages, thunder crashes, rain pours, winds howl, but the mountain stands unmoved, unbothered, unshaken. That's you. You're not immune to emotion. You're just not ruled by it. And that energy, that quiet strength, it sets you apart. Because most men, they crumble. They react. They spiral. They let every unread message unravel their sense of self. But you You've started to choose differently, and that difference is everything. It's the shift from needing her to choosing yourself, from proving your worth to knowing it. That's what it means to become unshakable. You don't beg to be seen. You don't demand attention. You don't need reassurance to stand tall. You carry your calm like armor. You hold your dignity like a crown, not to show off, but because you earned it. And when she looks at you now, she may not say it out loud, but she feels it. She senses the shift. She sees the difference. This isn't the same man who used to send midnight texts begging for clarity. This is a man who leads himself, who anchors his own peace, who doesn't chase because he doesn't have to. You've become the mountain, and that kind of presence, that calm, that steadiness, that emotional control, it doesn't just attract others. It builds a life that you're proud to stand in, whether she's part of it or not. Sign number 7, the art of making her miss you deeply. So you've become steady, grounded, unshakable. But now you find yourself wondering, will she even notice I've pulled back? Will she care? And here's the honest truth. She can't miss you if you never leave space to be missed. You want her to feel your absence? Then stop filling every silence with your presence. Stop lighting up her phone like a fire alarm. Stop trying to keep the connection alive with constant effort. Let the fire breathe. If you keep smothering it with attention, it won't burn brighter. It'll die. Let go of the belief that love grows in noise. It doesn't. It grows in space, in the quiet moments where someone has the chance to reflect, to wonder, to notice what's no longer there. If you're always texting, always checking in, always showing up, she never gets the chance to feel the shift, to question what your silence means, to ask herself if she took your presence for granted, and maybe she did. That's not for you to chase, that's for her to realize on her own. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." And he was right. You can't control whether she misses you. You can't control how she feels. But you can control what you do. You can choose to step back with grace. You can choose to hold your silence like a man who knows what he's worth. You can choose to let her wonder. And nope, that's not indifference. It's not playing games. It's not emotional warfare. It's self-respect. It's trusting that your value doesn't disappear just because you're not reminding her of it every day. And if she never realizes what she had, if your silence is met with more silence, then at least you know you showed up as a man and you walked away with your dignity. Let her miss you, not because you pulled away to provoke her, but because you finally stopped chasing and chose to stand in your worth. Sign number 8, avoiding the trap of instant gratification. Let's be honest, texting her? Yeah, it feels good for a moment. It's that rush, that tiny spark of hope. You hit send, and for a few seconds you feel better, relieved, connected, in control. But then what? The silence creeps in, the anxiety returns, the overthinking kicks back up like a storm you thought had passed. You wonder if you said too much or not enough. You keep checking your phone, waiting, hoping, slipping right back into the same emotional roller coaster you swore you'd step off. That's not strength, that's not healing, that's a cycle. It's your brain chasing a dopamine hit, a sugar rush for the soul, quick relief with a long crash. And listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel okay, that's human. But the path you're on now, the Stoic path, it doesn't chase temporary comfort, it seeks lasting peace. The Stoics were built on patience, on resisting the fleeting in favor of the eternal, on saying this feeling, this urge, this craving, it does not control me. Because here's what no one tells you. Every time you resist that impulse to text, you're not losing, you're winning. You're training your nervous system to stop reaching for quick fixes. You're building a mind that knows how to sit with discomfort without needing to run from it. And that's strength, that's discipline. That's the kind of emotional muscle most people never build. So the next time the emergency rises, and it will, pause, breathe, and remember this. You are not here for cheap relief. You are here to become the kind of man who doesn't need it. Because real peace, it doesn't come instantly. It comes from the quiet decisions made again and again in the moments no one sees. Sign number 9, how to build your value in silence. While she's sitting there wondering why your name hasn't popped up on her phone, while she's scrolling, thinking about how your energy feels different, questioning your quiet, you're building, you're not wasting time in the shadows, replaying old memories like a broken record, you're not stalking her socials hoping for a sign, you stepped off that emotional treadmill, and now you build. You hit the gym, not to get revenge, but to feel strong in your own body. You read, you learn, you grow. You get curious about life again. You reignite that fire inside you that maybe you forgot you had. You work on that project you kept pushing off. You start showing up for you with the same intensity you once gave to her. And no, this isn't about making her notice. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about keeping a promise to yourself, a promise that says, I will no longer abandon my growth just because someone else is unsure about me. Your silence, it's not a punishment. It's not a tactic. It's a sanctuary, a space where you become. It's not a passive stillness. It's active rebuilding. And every step you take in that silence, every rep at the gym, every page you read, every dollar you earn, every new skill you sharpen, it's all laying a stronger foundation. One that no relationship can give you and none can take away. You're not doing this to win her back. You're doing this because you're done losing yourself. You're creating a life so full, so purposeful, so rich with meaning that her presence or her absence no longer defines your happiness. So keep building, brick by brick, day by day. Because the man you're becoming in silence, he's going to thank you for not breaking. Sign number 10, when you should actually text her again. You've done the work. You've been silent. You've been steady. You've chosen discipline over desperation, growth over guessing, peace over panic. And now maybe you're wondering, is it ever okay to reach out? The answer, yes, but only under one condition. Not because you're lonely, not because you're spiraling, not because you're aching for closure, but because you're whole. Because you've reached a place where her reply or her silence doesn't shake you, where you're no longer reaching for validation, but simply extending a moment of truth. That's the difference. If she doesn't respond, you're still at peace. You don't spin out, you don't unravel. If she does respond, that's fine too, a moment of connection, not your lifeline. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. So before you send that message, ask yourself, is this coming from strength or from need? Because when your words come from need, they carry the scent of desperation. They come loaded with expectations and disappointment always follows. But when they come from strength, they land differently. You're not asking her to save you. You're not waiting to feel okay again. You're simply sharing something honest with zero attachment to the outcome. And that kind of message, it's rare, it's calm, it's real. So if you ever do reach out, let it be from a place of peace. Not to chase, not to fix, but to speak your truth and release it, then let go completely. No checking, no waiting, no spiraling, because you already have what you were searching for all along, yourself. Sign number 11. How to gracefully accept any outcome in love. Here it is, the final test. You've done the work. You've grown stronger. You've resisted the pull to chase, to beg, to reach out from weakness. You've chosen stillness over scrambling, discipline over desperation, truth over temporary comfort. And now, whatever comes next, you accept it. That's not giving up. That's letting go. That's stoicism in its purest form, not needing the outcome to be anything other than what it is. If she replies with warmth, fine. If she reaches out, fine. If she says nothing at all, still fine. Not because you don't care, but because you no longer hinge your identity on someone else's decision. This moment, the one you're in right now, this is where so many men crumble. They've waited, they've worked on themselves. But deep down, they were still hoping, still holding out for that message. And when it doesn't come, they spiral. But not you, not this time. Because you've built something real, inner peace. You've learned to walk through uncertainty without needing constant reassurance. You've learned to love yourself in the silence. You face the hardest truth, that your worth was never supposed to be determined by her response. And so now, no matter what she says or doesn't say, you remain grounded, calm, clear. You don't chase love anymore. You embody it. You don't beg for connection. You stand open but whole. You've broken free from the emotional leash, and that's freedom. So if she walks away, you let her with peace in your heart. If she comes back, you meet her, not as the man who begged, but as the man who became. Because this was never about getting her back, it was always about getting yourself back. Before you text her again, pause. Ask yourself, is this coming from fear or from strength? From insecurity or from self-respect? Because this isn't just about not sending a message, it's about becoming the kind of man who no longer needs to. The kind of man who doesn't chase peace because he embodies it. Who doesn't beg to be chosen because he already chose himself. Your power, your value, your peace of mind, they've been inside you this whole time. And no one, not her, not the past, not your emotions, gets to take that from you again. So if this message hits home, type it in the comments. I am in control of myself. Say it for you. Say it for the man you're becoming. And if you're ready to keep walking this path of calm strength and quiet confidence, thanks for joining the Stoic couple today. Stay strong, stay grounded, and until next time, keep cultivating your inner strength. See you in the next video.